So I'm the SVP of Product Management at Vision Critical. I head up our product management and design teams. So a lot of my focus is on really helping bridge that gap between what our corporate strategy is and what our product strategy is, so that I can really give clear direction to my product managers on how they evolve their areas of the product. I also focus a lot on process. So how do we interact with engineering? How do we interact with other parts of the organization? And how do we get the mechanics of that engine working well for us so that we're building great relationships all around us? So this is my first product camp that I've had the privilege of attending, and it's been really exciting and kind of energizing to get to hear other people's problems. Sometimes you're in your own bubble at work and thinking you're the only one experiencing that problem and thinking about how to solution it. But it's really nice to hear that other people have the same problems, be able to hear how they've solved it, and just kind of maybe gives you a little bit of that energy going back to the office on Monday. I talked about roadmaps today because it's very relevant to the work that I've been doing recently in my job, and I've really come to appreciate the power that a great roadmap can have as a communication tool. And I'm seeing the payback of, I've been at Vision Critical for about a year and put in place some new processes, and I'm really starting to see how it's paying dividends. I knew it would pay dividends when I started, but I'm just seeing how much that consistent transparency and trust has increased, and we have a ways to go. But I know I hear people talk about not liking the road mapping process or not believing we need them. So I wanted the opportunity to kind of get people re-excited about the power that it can have as a communication tool, not just as a plan of action. So there's definitely differences in how you communicate a roadmap to your different audiences. So when I'm talking to the development team, I'm talking a lot more about features and functions. I'm showing it at a more granular detail of level so they can see themselves in it. They can understand what's in it for me. I definitely always want to bridge back up to what the strategic objectives are, but the development team is also very interested in the details of it. So I want to get into the details of it with them. When I'm talking about it with sales, I want to focus a lot more on the direction that we're headed over the features we're building. Because the words that I use with them are the words that they're going to echo when they're out talking to customers. So I'm really sensitive to that, and making sure that they're staying focused on the objectives, on the business problems we're trying to solve, and trying to have broader buckets around date commitments. I just came out of a great session on how to get your sales team to stop selling your roadmap. And there was a very interesting conversation at the end where I think people took that a little bit too literally, and maybe even what I said about sales should sell what you have today and not what's in the future. And I realized that that's maybe a misstep. So it was interesting learning for me, because actually you do want your sales selling the roadmap in the context of selling the vision of where you're going as an organization, especially as an enterprise organization. What you don't want them to do is sell the features that you're building. And those are two very different things. So it was great to listen to the questions. There was also some really interesting ideas about the way that speaker has implemented integrations between the sales team and the product team that were actually interesting takeaways for me. Things that I'm not sure I'm quite brave enough to implement yet, but they maybe spurred a little courage to try some new things. There's a couple people from my product team here today, which I'm excited to see, and I would definitely encourage the rest of my team next year to come and learn from peers and also share some of the things that we're doing with their peers as well. The product management space in Vancouver has really grown, and I think there's a lot more we have in terms of ways to go about learning and maturing as a discipline, but this is a great way to sort of create that momentum for us. I think the tech industry in Vancouver has just changed phenomenally in the years that I've been here. I've worked my whole career in Vancouver, and I think we're really seeing a maturing of the organizations, an increased importance of a product organization within a software organization. We see roles that I don't think even existed before. I don't think my role existed in many organizations 10 years ago, maybe not even 5 years ago, but increasingly I see more seats at the executive team for product leaders, more senior level roles, and more of an understanding about how important it is to embed a product-focused person directly into your engineering team. And that's really exciting, I think, for the space and for what we can create as a technology industry in Vancouver.